Morbius facts. One. Morbius can be called a hero or as a villain. It is difficult to determine whether Morbius is a hero or not, because Morbius drank human blood, which is a crime, but Morbius has also been a member of hero groups such as SHIELD and also Doctor Strange's group, the Midnight Suns. So in conclusion, it can be said that Morbius can be a hero and can also be a villain, and actually Morbius can be regarded as the same anti-hero as the Punisher and Deadpool. 2. Morbius can control bats. Bat beasts are indeed synonymous with vampires or Dracula, and in fact this seems to be true in Morbius stories. Morbius is a vampire who has vampire powers and also some bat powers, and in addition to having his powers, Morbius can also control all the bats around him to do what Morbius wants to do. 3. Blood from Morbius can be an antidote to mutations. When Spider-Man was hit by a mutation that caused his hands to become 4, he accidentally ran into Morbius, who was transforming at that time. After that, it was certain that they were fighting each other, but in the middle of the fight, Lizard suddenly came and was bitten by Morbius. Instead of becoming a vampire, Lizard returned to be Dr. Curtis, then Spider-Man, who saw him, had a sense, intending to take Morbius' blood to be used as an antidote to the results of his mutation. 4. Morbius appears for the first time in The Amazing Spider-Man number 101. Morbius has his own solo comics, but his solo comics are not the beginning of Morbius characters introduced by Marvel. It is known that the figure or character of Morbius was first introduced in The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 101, and the character was created previously by Roy Thomas in 1971. And after being introduced, the figure of Morbius became famous, and after that there was a solo comic for Morbius himself. 5. Morbius often cooperates with many Marvel characters. In addition to being a member of the Midnight Suns, Morbius is also known to often help Doctor Strange to eradicate evil, especially those from the world of evil. Even with Morbius' usefulness, he even became the leader of the Midnight Suns, replacing the role of Doctor Strange. In addition, besides Doctor Strange, there are also Iron Fist, Wong, and even Ghost Rider, who often work with Morbius to eradicate the evil brought by Lilith, aka the Demon Queen. 6. Once a member of the Midnight Suns. It turns out that Dr. Stephen Strange once worked with the living vampire, namely Morbius. It is known that Doctor Strange deliberately recruited Morbius to join his group called the Midnight Suns, where the group or groups are organizations that aim to eradicate mystical things that basically want to damage the earth with their crimes. 7. Morbius' weakness is bloodthirsty. Supernatural vampires and vampires as a result of experiments and research are of course very different, and one of the basic differences is the difference in strength and also the difference in weakness. Michael Morbius is a vampire that comes from his experiments, therefore Morbius' strength is different from other vampires in that he is stronger, and for his weakness, Morbius is only weak to his thirsty desire to drink fresh blood. 8. Morbius originally wanted to be created as Dracula. Morbius actually wanted to be created as Dracula, not as a vampire. It was all done because there was a regulation in the 1950s that stipulated that comics should not feature elements related to the supernatural. But fortunately the rule was repealed or changed in 1971, and finally Morbius, who was planned to appear as Dracula, was replaced again as a vampire, but not supernatural but as a result of experiments. 9. Morbius has bat radar. Unlike Batman superheroes who claim to be Batman but don't have bat superpowers, Morbius obviously has powers that resemble bats. After doing a self-healing program, Morbius became healed and also had superpowers, one of which was a power similar to a bat, namely a radar. Morbius' radar is like a bat, which can listen to the power of sonar to detect enemies. 10. His powers come from bats. Michael Morbius was indeed famous and became a smart man in the past, But besides being smart, unfortunately, Morbius used to be a weak person and is estimated to have a rare disease, which is a disease related to his blood. To cure it, Morbius planned to conduct an experiment that involved bats in his experiment, and his experiment succeeded in curing his rare disease, but it also caused terrible side effects.